Roth IRAs are individual retirement accounts that can be incredibly powerful for your future because they allow you to put in money you've already paid tax on and invest that money so that in the future you have a big pile of money to live on that you don't have to pay taxes on. These accounts are amazing, and if you don't have a Roth IRA or don't know what it is, I have a playlist with several different videos explaining it and how to use them. I will link that down in the description box. It really hurts when you lose money, and it hurts me to see others lose money, so let's not do that, okay? Let's look at some of the common mistakes and how you can avoid them. First mistake is not using the Roth IRA at all because you already have a retirement account at your job. You likely have a 401k at your job. You may have a Roth 401k, which is wonderful, but if you don't, if you have a traditional 401k at work and you're not using the Roth IRA because of that, that is a mistake. These accounts are self-directed and they are accounts that you set up outside of your employment, which means even if you have a 401k, you can still contribute every year to a Roth IRA as long as you qualify. Having a retirement account outside of your job is really important because you have the flexibility to choose what you invest in. There are no rules on what you can invest in your Roth IRA like there might be with your 401k. So you don't have any mutual funds or crazy fees. You have a lot more freedom to choose your investments. So if you want to save for retirement but have the ability to choose your investments and have a lot more flexibility, a Roth IRA is a great option. This mistake really hurts me because I've seen people not actually invest their money in a Roth IRA. However, a Roth IRA is just a type of account. When you put money into a Roth IRA, it doesn't go into actual investments. Usually it goes into basically a money market account, which may earn you a couple cents, but it's not an actual investment. And unfortunately, some people don't realize that that's what's happening, and they don't see that they have to move that money and actually purchase the investments inside of their account. So don't make this mistake. Once you put money in, make sure that that money is purchasing the investments that you want to live inside of your account. The next mistake is not maxing out your Roth IRA for the year. You have a limited amount of time that you can contribute the maximum to this account. Once the year has passed, that is gone forever. And of course, here at Penny's Not Perfection, we are all about putting in whatever you can, no matter how much it is. You don't have to max out your account, but if you can do this and you don't, that's a huge mistake. In fact, I would probably prioritize putting in the max amount to your Roth IRA over a lot of other things that you can do with your money. These accounts are super powerful, and like I said, you only have a certain time frame to contribute. For the year, you have up until the next year's tax deadline to contribute. So once that time is gone, once that 16 months is over, you can never put that money in again. And with investments, the longer time frame you have for those to grow, the better. So the earlier you start and the more you put in, the better off you'll be. Another mistake that people make is not having individual accounts for each person if they're married. There is no such thing as a joint Roth IRA. There's no such thing as two people being on a Roth IRA, even if you're married. These are IRAs, which is individual retirement account. This means each account matches up to each person. You need to both have your own accounts. If you're married, you need to be contributing to your own Roth IRA. And ladies, this is super important for you because we live longer than men and we often have to support ourselves in retirement without our spouse. It's super important that you're being proactive about your future and you are making sure that you will be able to survive when that time comes, whether or not you have a spouse at that time or not. So don't make the mistake of being married and only contributing to one Roth IRA. You need to contribute to both if you're eligible, if you qualify. And even if one person stays home and does not have an earned income for the year, but the other person is working and you file a joint return, you are able to contribute for the year to a spousal Roth IRA, which means each person can still contribute the max for the year if you're eligible. Don't make the mistake of trying to have one account. Definitely have individual accounts for each person in a relationship. Another mistake I see people making is having too much risk in their investments inside of their Roth IRA. You are saving for retirement. You are likely saving for 20, 30, 40 years down the road. You do not need to be purchasing risky investments. You should be comfortable with the risk tolerance that you're taking. So if you're worried that you're going to lose your money, if you're going to put money in and not get that money back out, if you're not going to have a return on your investment, you should not be listening to the guy down the street that's giving you stock tips. You should not be listening to these YouTubers that are trying to make money just by talking about these risky stocks. You should probably go with a more conservative approach, which is generally just investing in index funds, which is what I personally do because I don't have the risk tolerance to lose money in my retirement accounts. And let's be honest, most people don't. When you start to lose money, especially in an account that is for your future, you're going to likely have some feelings that come up. And if you panic and withdraw all your money, you're going to be in worse shape than you started. So definitely start out picking something that has a level of risk you're comfortable with, like an index fund that covers the broad stock market. It doesn't have a lot of fees, so that way you are in the best position to have growth over time without losing your money. You can do your own research onto index funds that have a good track record, low fees, and are covering the broad stock market overall. I personally have VTSAX in my Roth IRA because I do invest at Vanguard, so I have a mutual fund there that covers the total stock market, but there's lots of options at different brokerages like Fidelity and that are similar to that. One mistake people make a lot with Roth IRAs is not actually looking at their current and future tax brackets when they're deciding to contribute. To get the most out of your Roth IRA benefits, you really need to consider your current tax bracket and what you think your future tax bracket will be. Of course, you don't know for sure, but if you think that you are going to be making the most money that you've ever made in your life right now, so you're at the highest tax bracket that you'll ever be in, this is important information to know to decide if you want to actually contribute to your account now or if this is not the right account for you. This is definitely something people don't usually think about when they are starting a Roth IRA or contributing, so definitely make sure you take the time to consider your situation now, what you think it will be in the future, and if the Roth IRA and the benefits that it gives you is actually what you need. Another mistake I see people making is breaking the rules on contributions. Roth IRAs have rules around them and they are strict for a reason. There are penalties and you will be in trouble if you contribute too much or if you contribute more than you can based on your income. When you're contributing to a Roth IRA, you need to make sure that you're eligible for the year based on income limits. That information can be found on the IRS website. I will link it down below. Take a couple seconds, check out the income for the year and whether you're eligible based on the top level, which is the max amount you can earn to contribute, or even the bottom level, because if you don't earn enough per year, you're not eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA. Additionally, if you have Roth IRAs at multiple brokerages, which you can do, that is allowed, but you are still only able to contribute the max amount per year between all of them. So if you have a Roth IRA at Vanguard and you have a Roth IRA at M1 Finance because you like both platforms, I personally like both platforms and use them both, but if you have two different Roth IRAs, you can only contribute the max per year. So this year it is $6,500. Between these accounts, you can only put that much in. You can put in $3,000 at Vanguard and $3,500 at M1 Finance. You cannot put in $6,500 at Vanguard and $6,500 at M1 Finance. This will get you in big trouble. And let's be honest, you do not want to go up against the government. They will find out. Your brokerage is not going to stop you for this because they are not in charge of this. You have to take a little bit of responsibility and make sure that you are following the rules for contributions, because if you're not, you will eventually get caught, and you know, the government's not the enemy that you want. One big mistake I see people making, and it drives me crazy, is investing before they've paid off really high interest debt like credit cards. You need to be investing. You need to be investing for your future. But, if you have not paid off your high interest credit card debt, you're not really making the progress that you want. If you're paying 20% on credit card balances that are rolling over, you are going to be going backwards instead of going forwards and building a compounding asset in your Roth IRA. Make sure you pay off any of the debt where you have a really high interest rate that is higher than any of the returns you're probably going to get in your investments, because if you don't, you're going to be going backwards. It's definitely a mistake to be investing when you're paying really high interest debt. You don't need to be completely debt-free. It's fine to have debt and be investing, but if those interest rates are high, you need to get rid of it. And the final one, which is not often talked about on any videos that I ever watch, is making sure your beneficiaries are updated. If you have had a life change, if you've gotten married, divorced, anything like that, if you've had kids, make sure that you are keeping your beneficiaries updated. Make sure you log into your settings, change who the money goes to if you are unfortunately unable to use it, and make sure that money is directed to the place that you actually want it to go. You can review this once a year just to make sure everything is still good, or you can review it anytime you have a big life change, so that you're able to have the money go where you want it to, because this is something people forget about. And unfortunately, I've seen where the money goes to a person that they probably would not have wanted it to go to, unfortunately, after they've passed away, because they never went back and updated the beneficiary. Those are the most common mistakes I see people making with a Roth IRA, but great news, you've watched this video, so you can fix them. And if you haven't started a Roth IRA, that's a mistake you can fix too. Watch this video and it will help you decide where to start your Roth IRA, and you can get started today.